Don't waste it on me. Spite. Life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Don't waste it on me. Spite. Life's telling you, don't waste it. I'm telling you, don't waste it. Life's telling you, don't waste it on me. What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay.
It's almost like it's a pathological obsession that I cannot puke. Like, I don't know why. I think I consider it like a weakness or something like that. So, like I said, I was sick as a dog last night. I refused to puke. I just laid on the bathroom floor and prayed to the God doesn't exist.
It's a safety mechanism. It's your body rejecting things.
I
It's
know.
Literally, like,
And my
it's
mind thinks, I'm better than this. I don't have to puke.
because your brain is like, listen, you're being poisoned right
Oh,
now.
right.
Please
And
let
it's
me do my thing.
screaming puke. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is not.
Right, and it's sending the information to the muscles and the diaphragm
I
to
know.
start getting
I know.
them to
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
work.
And I felt the
And you're like, no.
the contractions were starting. I literally said, no, it's
Yeah.
not happening. I refused to let it
And the lizard part of your brain is like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, this is happening. We don't want to die.
Right. But I defeated the lizard, so I'm kind of happy about that. So
I congratulations. I
Yeah.
guess? I don't.
Thank you.
I mean,
thank you. It's
Hey,
the little victories.
I guess you challenged your you challenged your stomach and
Did.
I guess you won.
In a way.
But
But
I'm
you're
not-
right. I probably
you know.
allowed poison to be in my system longer than it should have, right? Which is probably not a good
I mean,
a good sign.
because generally when it's on the way out type of thing, that's when your body disagrees with you later. When you have an urge to like throw it up right away, that's when your body's like reacting to being like, no, you just fed me not food. This is not food.
True.
And
But it was like, I want to say it was 2 a.m. and the meal I ate was at like noon. You know what I mean? So
oh, okay.
yeah. Which
That's-
I
no,
would have
that-
thought I should have been done with it by that point.
Yeah, it would have been digested.
So I guess it was
I
in
don't
the
know.
intestines. I don't know. But
You have
it's
a,
the only meal I can think of that did it. Because I had dinner. My dinner was leftovers from a meal I had previous, and it was fine
Oh,
the
okay.
first time I ate it. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was the dinner because
Right.
it would have had it the first time. You know? So I don't know. We're live, by the way. So hello, everyone. Yes,
in the
we're here.
My screen just froze for a minute there, which
Yeah.
so I was a
You did.
little bit thrown off.
You did freeze, and it was
I
a
did
very.
well, no, you froze.
Oh.
Is from my perspective.
I see.
It was.
I think you froze.
You're, you definitely.
and
did.
you were frozen in a very very wonderful facial expression position. It was kind of like this. Hey, that's the one. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. That
Oh.
was great.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
great.
it's my resting perplexed face.
Oh my
you
god,
know,
that's
it's
fantastic.
kind of-
Yeah, we don't have resting bitch face. We have resting perplexed face. It's like
Yeah, just like
right, because we constantly, we're constantly around people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So you constantly do.
right. But are saying it with all of the confidence of someone who very much thinks they know everything that they're talking about, and so it's really interesting.
Oh god, you live in
Yeah,
a
a lot
world
of,
where expertise is criticized and
Yep.
go with
Frowned
your gut.
upon,
Go
even-
with your gut.
Yeah, because go with what your
Go with your gut.
stomach tells you.
Right.
No.
Remember, I got to diverge on
Manuals
this.
are for
I
pussies.
have to diverge on. I have to diverge on this one. Bush Jr. back in whatever 2000, I guess. When was Bush Jr.?
When America was great.
Yeah. Back when it was great.
Okay,
When the
okay.
Rhinos were in charge
Right.
now, I guess apparently right now
whatever.
they don't agree
Right,
anymore.
yeah.
They don't like them. So
Right.
he did that thing where like he would literally be in interviews and say, yeah, why'd you invade Iraq? Because Afghanistan was the Taliban was in Afghanistan. Why'd you then invade Iraq? He said his gut told him to, his gut. Because there was no credible evidence why
Gotta
he
go with your
should.
gut.
He went with his gut, and he prayed, and God spoke to him. He heard a voice in his head that told him to do it. So,
Yep.
in my world, when you hear a voice in your head and you act on those things, when you hit, that's a professional level issue. That you should not be listening to voices in your head.
unfortunately, that is how our government works,
Yes.
and that is how many policy decisions are made.
That was when it really
Um,
dawned on me. Like, I'm like, holy shit! Like, there is an entire political party that's full of crazy people,
Right.
and
Because
it only got worse. And
Well,
it
because
worked.
with that, when you give yourself the ability to
Yes.
excuse yourself
Right.
by having
God
higher
told me.
authority, and then and then saying that you understand that higher authority,
Yes.
and then explaining how that higher authority has already said it's okay,
Correct.
it gives you the excuse to do pretty
Whatever the
much
fuck you
anything,
want.
which is why it's
Why not?
it's and which is why it should never be put into politics or government in any way,
Right.
because it trumps everything and it's all nonsense.
I
So,
agree. I agree. But we're here to help people, and we should. And we have
Yeah.
5 wonderful
Yeah, because
questions.
you know what doesn't help people? Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and
Not
prayers.
really.
Thoughts and prayers. Don't
That-
do
yeah,
anything
it doesn't
for
really do
anyone. Thoughts and prayers.
I mean,
Thoughts and
I
prayers.
guess it's. I mean, I guess it's like good vibes or whatever type of thing. But yeah, I mean,
you could say my heart goes out to you, and I wish well for you, right? And I wish things will improve for
Right.
you. How about that?
right.
I
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
you
yeah.
find some
Or-
peace
or-
in this.
well,
in light
yeah,
of this
yeah, that's what-
tragedy,
that's a-
I wish you finding some peace, some measure
That's
of
a
peace.
that's a demonstration of empathy, which
Correct.
makes whereas
Right.
um
Thoughts and
thoughts and
prayers is like
prayers,
this.
put up on Twitter, or whatever. It's
Thoughts
like, yeah,
and
it's like-
prayers.
right. I mean, you might as well just stamp that with the
Ah,
emoji.
all right,
Thoughts and prayers
right.
emoji.
There should be an
prayer
emoji.
hands.
Actually, there should be. Is it an emoji? Is it the prayer hands? Prayer hands is thank
No.
you.
Well, no,
right?
prayer hands is thank you, I think, but I still
Yeah.
think of it as prayer hands.
I see.
So I
Send
think of
prayer
this
hands.
as like God bless.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how
Send
I,
prayer hands.
whenever
yeah,
I see
yeah,
that,
yeah,
even though it's
yeah.
supposed to be thanks.
Bless your heart, honey. Bless your heart. All right. Anyway, let's help some people. So we have 5 questions today,
All right.
carefully curated from our archive of questions. And questioners, thank you for sending them in, and please continue to do
Yes.
so. Otherwise, we won't really have anything to do except sit here and talk about stupid shit. So our first wonderful question
Not that your shit isn't stupid, because some of it
uh,
is. But,
remains to be seen.
you know,
We'll review the questions, and I have not.
We'll see.
This is my first time seeing these. I have not seen them, so this is gonna be
Right,
this is gonna be
yeah.
off the cuff. So, Kevin
we have?
from Lakewood, Ohio. So Kevin from Lakewood. I've been to Lakewood actually. It's not too bad a town, honestly. I'm okay with Lakewood.
It's in Ohio, so it can't be that great.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I am 26 years old today, and I'll be the first to admit that my worldview is narrow and limited to my life experiences. As older guys, ouch, Kevin, ouch. All right, as older guys,
Thank you, Kevin,
what-
for appreciating
experience and wisdom.
wisdom.
Yeah. As older guys, what is some of your best life advice, or even just knowledge you think I should know by now but probably don't? Asked Kevin. He's 26. Kevin, you've come to the right
Never-
spot. We
Never
are.
fry bacon naked, ever.
Oh my God,
don't
the
fry anything
spittle,
naked.
the spittle.
Yeah, just such a bad idea.
Eh.
Oh,
You came to the right
one
place
thing-
actually, because we're full of useless advice that we can give you about life. Because we have made
no,
lots of
we're full of
mistakes.
useful advice.
That's what I meant, of course.
I mean, I have made so many
So many
different
mistakes.
that I can
So
help
many.
explain to people how not to do
Why
things.
not to do those things? Yes.
It's definitely like, okay, number one, don't have role models. Well, okay, don't have male role models. Because I mean, I got first there was O.J. Simpson, and then Harvey Weinstein,
Yes.
and just all
Woody
these people
Allen.
everyone thought was super great. Turned out,
Yep.
But then you have the O.J. Simpsons and the Bill Cosby, and now Neil
Cosby,
Gaiman,
yes.
Gail Gaiman.
Gaiman, yeah.
Like, it's just
Don't elevate anyone to any pedestal position of
Yeah.
admiration. Don't do it. Respect their skills or their contributions. Absolutely. Like, wow. Like Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson music. It is very possible, of course, never proved, that he did horrible things to children. Very possible, right? I am still going to enjoy listening to his music.
Yeah, it does affect my ability to listen to his
Does
music,
it?
though. It
Dude,
does.
if you
It-
judge
it-
everybody
it's-
based on the stuff you would listen to and watch nothing.
Right, which is why I try to know as little about people as possible.
There you go.
Which is why it sucks. Like, which is like why it's like don't have heroes, or it's why I don't. It's like, if I see a movie with a certain actor, like I don't want to know anything about like their marriage or whatever, because it's like I don't care, because it's like
I like it
you know-
because it humanizes them. You know what I mean? Because it's okay to admit we have faults. You know, that's one of the biggest problems in society. Which will go to my advice for Kevin.
Right.
Actually, is that
Yeah.
learn to accept yourself, and with the caveat that the path to improve. Right. So like one of the biggest problems that most adult people have is they refuse to admit when they've done something wrong or have had a bad thought. That's called being human, right? So you say, you know, I don't know, say you're playing hockey and the guy on the other team's better than you, right? You might think in your mind, oh, I hope he falls and breaks his leg. You know, like that thought may appear in your mind. That's okay.
Right.
You're human. You won't actually want his leg to break, right?
Unless you trip him.
Unless you, which you won't do because you're not a bad person. But that's the thing, right?
In
People
this
have
example, right?
right. People have bad thoughts, and it's okay. You it teaches you about yourself. You're like, why did I think that? Oh, because I'm insecure about my own performance or how I perceive myself, and blah 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 blah. Learn, grow. That's the thing.
Unfortunately, most people don't realize that. So
No,
by
correct.
the fact that you even wrote this question and are saying, "Hey, are there things that I don't know?"
That's one of the
shows
things.
that yeah. I mean, that right there shows the emotional maturity. Like, I think a big one for me is like learn about the lived experiences of people completely opposite of you. So
Yeah, because you form microcosms,
uh,
right? And you need that
yeah.
visualization outside.
It's like it will help you learn to like check your privilege and separate yourself from the cretins.
I would-
you know,
I
of
would-
like, you know,
I would contend that's why I think college is so important because it's not just the book learning that you do there and the higher education you get, but being in a social environment with people who are not like you is huge for your growth. Like I can't even convey how
Right.
huge it is, you know. Anyway, just a thought. But you're right. You're right. Get into different, like expand your circles. Right, it's definitely a big thing.
right, exactly. Like don't be one of these people that's like, oh, well, why would you ever want to leave the U.S.? It's the greatest country that ever lived on Earth. No, it's not. A lot of countries do a lot of shit better. Go explore them.
Go look at
Okay.
it. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right, because like, you know, immigrate if you want. Maybe
Mhm.
get the hell out of here. You know,
Don't move. You
It's
don't
too
have
late
to
for me
move.
and me and
don't
Vanguard,
listen.
but
You
you
don't
know,
have
if you
to
want to
move.
go, you're 26. Canada will take you. If you've got skills, Kevin, you know, you can go.
Canada's not taking
Um,
people anymore. Actually, even if you're white, they're clamping down.
Right? No, exactly. Well, no, they will. They might take Kevin because he at 26.
Oh,
They
'cause
will not.
he's young
take
and has skills. He's young and
older
strong.
gentlemen such as
I see.
ourselves.
I see.
We're all used up as far as Canada's concerned. So we're not. They don't want America's cast-offs.
Agreed.
So I think one thing in order to be happy, I think it is true that the more that you focus on making other people happy,
Yes,
you will be happy.
I agree.
Which is why learn cunnilingus. Learn it. Because
Do it
that
well.
right there, yeah,
Is the path to
it-
happiness.
It will make people happy. I am just saying.
I actually would
Um,
not dispute that. I agree with you on this one. I normally don't subscribe to some of your more radical theories, but that is a solid piece of
Radical
advice.
theories?
Radical theory. But yeah, get good at cunnilingus and yeah,
Focus on what you can control.
control. Right.
And that you can control. You can control your ability
Yeah.
to have a snack.
Right.
Um,
Of sorts. I would say
sorts.
the getting back to the happiness thing. Do not to along the lines of Greenpants saying, do not pursue happiness itself because that is a fleeting, impossible mission. If you just try to constantly make yourself happy, then you're looking for instant
Right.
gratification. Doesn't last. Right. That's not the thing. Seek purpose. In addition to learning cunnilingus, seek purpose.
Yes,
and
additional
purpose.
cunnilingus.
Purpose brings you happiness. Guaranteed. It's probably the wisest advice I've ever told anyone. So I've told many people that before.
The
Seek purpose.
psychologists refer to that. It's like the golden triangle of happiness.
Yeah.
Which I think it's like there's it's like the three areas of well-being. So you need like your standard of living, so your
Yes.
financial support,
Yes.
your strong like personal relationships,
Like basic necessities and then
and that sense of
and then
purpose.
purpose.
like
Yep.
the sense of like what am I doing?
Right.
So,
Like what's the secret
if
to
you-
life?
if you-
It's literally those three things.
those two
The
things.
secret to life is literally those three things. So yeah. If you excel in all three of those things, everything else will come. It is just like it really lines everything up, you know.
Attend live music as much as you can. Unfortunately, even if it's $38,000 now, it's you know.
Thank you,
go see a show.
Ticketmaster.
Um, So yeah, I would say that, and you know, try drugs. They're great.
Not too many. Not too many, Kevin.
Not too many. But,
Easy
you know,
on the
in
drugs.
moderation. Easy on the
Moderation.
drugs, but get a credit card as early as you can, and keep it constantly up to date and paid, so you have a consistently long credit
I got
history.
to the point. This was funny about the credit card. So I subscribe to. I'm a big believer in insurance and preventive badness, right? So I have like a credit monitoring service that I do, and it will
Sure.
mail you and tell you, hey, here's your rating and increase it, decrease, whatever. Here are the reasons why your rating didn't go higher. Give you reasons,
Right.
and it always finds something. No matter how good your credit is, like it's got to fill the list of 3 things. So it picks something, right? And the one it picked me for the longest time is like your oldest account is only 28 years old or something, and you read and it says, oh, credit agencies want to see at least 30 years of good credit in order to, and I'm like, what? 30 years?
I'm telling you. That's why you got to get a credit card when
to
you're
his
like
point,
8.
get the credit card. Yeah, exactly. And then you establish like credit. But yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, because even if you wait until you're 20, it's like, okay, fine. When you're 50 years old, we will give you a loan.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and another thing, speaking of money, never go into debt, never spend more than you earn, never live beyond your means.
I would say don't listen to nevers, because that is a hard thing to do. I would say, yeah, avoid that. But if you do go into debt, you can work yourself out of it. Don't go further into debt.
Yes.
It's not that once you're in debt, there's no way out.
No, but just avoid going into debt, right? Spend what you have, don't
avoid,
spend
right?
more.
I know, but you're being a little judgy with the never
Man,
go into debt.
just 'cause I got burned
having
on
a
it
credit card by definition is having
Is
a bit
debt.
of debt.
No, I know, but paid off every month is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's like you're literally paying 18 to 20 something percent interest every month. It's like
It depends.
ridiculous.
Well, also don't buy more than you can afford.
Thank you.
That would be
That's
another-
exactly what I'm saying. Don't buy more. Don't live beyond your means.
And also in the end, remember nothing matters. In the end. So
You're
the
tiny,
universe is just a big empty cosmic void.
right? And we are tiny
we're all
specks of
just-
nothing in it.
Yeah, just doing our tiny specks of nothing things, thinking our tiny specks of nothing thoughts, and
Tiny specks of
pretending
thinking they're important.
pretending our tiny specks of nothing have purpose, like which we just explained. Yeah, we forgot to tell you that first one. You have to have a purpose. It's pointless, but you need to have one. It's weird. It's complicated.
No. It's all
Probably
relative. You
should move on.
need a purpose relative to the tiny speck of nothingness
think we
and
might be
irrelevance
confusing
that we
Kevin.
are, right? Yeah. No, we are. We went too far.
I
We
think,
went
I
too
think
far.
okay.
We gave you tons of things, Kevin. Follow those things and you will live a very happy life. That's a good experience. So,
Absolutely.
good luck. And we expect an update in 20 years when we're probably still doing this show. Tell us how you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, Kevin, good luck. Any
But
follow
try new things. Skydiving,
Try new things.
pegging,
Pe-
whatever.
You went to the pegging.
Whatever. I'm just saying try things. Try food from the ocean. Some people,
Hey,
I won't
you're,
name names,
you're trying to redirect me. All right,
Vanguard
hold on.
won't drink at all, won't eat anything from
Correct,
the ocean.
correct. But I did. I tried
give
it
a
and
shot,
didn't like.
try things.
So you're redirecting. You're saying that
I'm not,
you're
the next question?
trying pegging. All right, next question
What?
comes from Calliope. There's a name that you don't hear
That's a
often.
nice name.
Calliope from Roswell, Georgia.
Colorful.
Okay,
Oh,
Calliope.
I think Lex is doing too good.
I work in a small business restaurant bar where I make drinks in the front and also in the cashier. I've been working there for 6 months. I like the job for the most part, but I'm having problems with some of the older women. I'm kind of unique with my hair dyed red and always wearing colorful outfits, and it's driving them crazy. At least one of them makes a comment about my clothes on every shift. I've heard them tell each other I'm not respectable and am ruining the restaurant's image. What should I do? Now, if we get this question in 1987, we might have a conversation about it, but it's 2025 now.
I am.
How rural is
I
Roswell,
think I understand
Georgia?
this. It's like Calliope. I am very sorry that you have to deal with the endless ramblings of ugly, badly behaved boomers. They are not good people. They were not raised right, and we just have to deal with them. My guess is that each of these ladies is probably just jealous of your, bright, colorful hair and youthful exuberance, and every day that you're in there, you remind them how closer they are to death.
Oh, I'm frozen. I'm unfrozen. I just had to look it up because I've never been to Roswell, so I'm not familiar with it. It's not that far from Atlanta. It's like a suburb of Atlanta.
No, it's a suburb of Atlanta.
So it's like, this should not be coming up as a thing. Like, Atlanta's like a major city with a lot of people who are accepting of, compared to the rest of Georgia.
True,
Come on.
but it's still, it is, this doesn't surprise me at all. Like, I mean, as
Really?
I have relatives in Georgia, even unless you're in Metro Atlanta, like right out. I mean, we're talking right outside of Georgia. It goes,
downhill quick.
My guess is that
Yes.
these two old leather sack faces that are giving you problems are probably
But, by the
voted for
way,
Orange Mussolini.
that are probably younger than us. By the way, I'm just throwing it out there.
No, if they are giving Calliope a hard time about her hair and all that, that is a boomer thing. That is not a Generation
Probably.
X thing.
Probably.
Like
Probably.
I don't probably yes.
We just
It-
outed our
it's a
generation. We are Gen
possibility,
Xers.
But
Yes.
right. I mean,
I wonder if
yeah,
it's
just-
a lot of that is sometimes so I've seen that in action before, and it's because it's like Calliope might be relatively attractive, you know what I mean, and then these ladies are just kind of lashing out because older, not as attractive kind of thing. They're like, oh my
Like,
god,
I
her
mean-
hair, her clothes, you know, it's kind of
Right,
like just
like,
petty
I
bullshit.
guarantee you, but both of these people are Trump voters. So I think
You brought it there.
what you can
just,
do,
You just circled
uh,
it right back.
yeah, no, because this is all because all you have to do if they're worried about being respectable,
Yes.
all you have to say is, hey, you voted for a rapist
Right.
that stole our bodily autonomy.
Right.
Just keep saying that.
And treat you
Like,
as second
hey,
class
Linda,
citizens.
Shut the fuck up. How about a big glass of shut the fuck up? You voted for a rapist who stole my bodily autonomy. Okay? Why don't you head back in the back of the kitchen there?
Crikey.
Thank you. You're in the power position here, Calliope. No, I'm just saying I don't think Calliope should take any shit.
Absolutely
is
not. You're doing nothing wrong, Calliope.
Especially not from these.
No.
The
only one you answer to is your. The only
her.
one you answer to is your boss. This is solid advice for anybody. In your workplace, the only person you have to worry about is your boss. If you have another problem with an employee, you bring it to your boss. And if your boss can't resolve it, you get the fuck out of Dodge. You know, it's like that.
There are workplace dynamics where it is important to develop networks with people other than your boss in order to
Sure.
get things done.
Understood. But I'm saying when things like this happen, right? And the bosses, like, they're talking about ruining the restaurant's image. That's the boss's problem.
Right.
The boss looks at her and says,
Right.
hey, I respect your choices, but it'd be nice if you showed a little less cleaver, or whatever it is, right? You know, whatever it is.
But, right, and if the owners thought she was like they wouldn't
They hired her like
they wouldn't
this.
put you in front in the
Right.
store, like they wouldn't
Right.
they wouldn't have you as a cashier and or tending the bar or whatever.
And you're probably in front
Um,
because you are probably attractive,
Right.
right? And
because you are
make the customers happy.
helping drive customers into the bar.
Exactly.
Um,
And the
whereas,
two old women, they're not,
you know,
and they're stuck in the back
yeah.
because they're bitter about it, which is why they're lashing
yeah,
out at
the
you.
two old grain sacks in the back are just you know what? They're just gel.
Brains.
Then,
We're all gel technically. There you go. So Calliope, don't worry about it. I mean, what do you do? I don't know. I kill him with kindness is one approach. You know, they'd be like, "Oh, can I
Yeah,
help
I mean,
you?
just-
You know, how can I? You know,
yeah,
anything I
if,
could
if
do?"
you're just
you know.
overly with like saccharine niceness and stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could drive them to
Right, to lose
you
their
know,
shit,
uh,
or maybe eventually
just lose their
respect you,
minds and-
which is nice.
uh,
I doubt that, but
that's-
stranger things have happened.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, unlikely. That's an
But,
option. Other option, if
yeah.
it becomes a problem, which interfering with your work or your like well-being, like your mental well-being, your boss and say, "Hey,
Kill them.
they're giving me a lot of shit.
I
You
mean,
hired
or
me."
ask tell your boss.
Right. You go to your boss and say, "Hey, do you think I'm doing a good job? If you're so, and that's great. I'm happy being here, but like those two are giving me crap and it's making me uncomfortable. What do you recommend I do? You know?" And have the boss resolve it. That's the boss's job. You just sign up for it when you're the boss.
You know, maybe one of those ladies will have an accident. I don't know.
Oh, moving on.
I'm just saying. It's just, you know, people can fall,
We here at OK
A lot of
Seriously
times
do not
so
offer
that-
or condone these types of services.
but people do fall,
They do.
and
Yes, they
it's
do.
a tragedy sometimes.
And sometimes it's and sometimes
especially-
paperwork needs to happen when people fall.
and-
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Next question from Crystal from Plano, Texas. Crystal says, Plano, oh my god. Crystal says, my husband and I got
Oh.
married 13 years ago. It was not your traditional wedding. We had a simple registration with his family's knowledge, but at the time we weren't financially stable enough to have a proper wedding. And honestly, no one from either side was pushing for it. I've always dreamt of having a proper wedding, being a beautiful bride, and celebrating the milestone. My husband's family and his family think it's unnecessary and even a little ridiculous because we've been together so long. They don't see the point of having a wedding now. Should I go for it and have the wedding I've always wanted, or should I let it go? Good question, Crystal.
For me, I say let it go because I think you absolutely dodged a bullet by not having a giant sinkhole of a party that basically drags at your credit score
Yeah,
for the next
too much
decade and a
money.
half.
Weddings are so expensive.
I mean, so while just have a party or something like
I was
like
gonna
have
recommend that.
maybe not a wedding, but like do a um you know you could do a because it really doesn't work because this is the thing, Crystal. When you are already when you've been with someone for a long time and you're already married and you try to throw the extravagant wedding 15-20 years later, it doesn't really work for people because the people that come are like, yeah, you guys are already married. Like it doesn't it's not what you
I think
expect.
if you
Unfortunately.
visualize it as a renewing of vows, I think people would
Right,
be
exactly.
into that.
That's why
You know
I
what
think
mean?
you have to present it differently as if because being the beautiful bride it's too late to be the the
What are you
beautiful
saying?
bride that is
What are you saying?
no the
Think she's not beautiful
the whole
anymore
like
because she's 13
surprised
years older? How
no
dare
but
you?
having yes that is what I'm saying. Don't waste money on a party and and so it will um the idea I think after one has been married for so long when if you are going to throw a huge extravagant wedding
Uh-huh.
many years after the fact, I have been to two of these and they were both very weird. Um because uh there were already like two kids and everything else, so it was weird that the ring bearer was the kid of the but like which is sometimes fine, but it wasn't like little
Fine.
kids, their kids were like 12. So it was it just felt weird.
I
Yeah.
think if you frame it as a renewing of vows, I think it would be well received. I think if, as far as the money goes, like if it's gonna make you happy and if you have the money to spend, I think it's fine, right? That you throw together like a little renewal ceremony and then have a reception party elsewhere, somewhere. You know, it's called a party. It doesn't need to be called a wedding reception, right? Um, and enjoy it. If, like I said, if you have the money to spend,
I know,
and
but
if it makes
well,
you
it
happy,
sounds like her husband, because this is something that it sounds like the rest. Because part of my advice is also because she's the only one that wants this. So
yeah.
the
And she's
the
50% of the relationship.
right, that's true. But like I'm trying to guide her toward not throwing money down a sinkhole.
What if they have a bunch of money?
So
What if they have the money and it makes her happy, right? Have the
I don't think they. Well, she's asking. Let it go, Crystal. I'm saying let it go. Vanguard
I'm
is
saying do it as a renewal of
have
vows
a
and go for
giant
it.
wedding with
Yes.
400 people, 16 elephants, and I gotta
And
twist my words,
and the
whatever.
va-
I'm
and
not
the
saying you
van
can't be a
with
beautiful bride.
and the
I
van
just
with
think
floor to ceiling speakers playing techno, just driving around the parking lot.
I just think it's
Boom,
a little
boom,
much. It
boom, boom.
seems a little silly. I-
Yeah,
Hey, you know what? That's why we have two different points of view
it's true.
on these
That's why you
things.
get two pieces of advice.
We
Choose
could
who
have
you know
just, normal sound conservative, just
here,
sound advice, and then
or
crazy over here,
insanity
wedding,
over here.
talking about having giant speakers on a truck. Like,
Speakers on a
just-
truck playing the
I mean,
techno.
I'm saying, be careful with your money, invest wisely, don't waste it all on a giant party. Meanwhile, DJ Rave over here, yeah,
The party will be kicking if you have a party now. Think of all the things that you would have planned that you wouldn't have planned before. It'd be great. So you got to choose, Crystal. You have a choice. Like we said, you have a choice to make. Which one of us you love more? So, and follow that person's advice.
Sure, I got this.
You figure you're a lock. Crystal's husband saying, "Thank God for green pants."
I absolutely.
All right, Crystal. Good luck.
Right.
It's your money. You're an adult. Spend it as you will. That's my final advice.
No,
Okay.
it's your as a couple, because it seems
As a
like she's
couple,
making this decision with her husband.
No, she.
who
Yes.
she's been married to for 13 years.
Yes, he's half the relationship. Yes, no question.
And so
All right, I'm hiding this question again.
just saying,
Right.
go spend the money. Just saying, like it. There, I do understand their feelings that it's a little silly. So maybe do something more subdued, and not have a giant blow
Of
out.
course, do whatever you're gonna do within budget, just as you would if it was your wedding from 13 years ago. You know what I mean? But
Oh, now he's pulling it back. Now, we had
everything's in
speakers
budget.
coming out. We had
No,
a giant truck
refer.
with huge speakers. We had woofers and bass.
Yes, all that.
Now all of a sudden, it's wait, no.
Remember-
only within your means.
Recall the life advice
you know.
I just gave Kevin to live within your means. So that advice still applies. So
Okay, well,
if she gave us more information about our financial situation, like balance sheets and accounts and all that other stuff, we'd be able to make a better determination. But
that's true. If
Yeah.
you want to,
send us your bank information.
just
Forward
send us a brief accounting of your net worth.
Yes.
And where your investments are and stuff. Yeah, I think we can make a better prognosis.
we can help you out.
So,
All
let
right.
it go.
Next question. Let's see. Next question from our questioner. I live in Washington, D.C. with 5 roommates. Super expensive to live here. One of my roommates is a particular problem for me. She keeps trying to install a power dynamic where other roommates have to ask her for permission for certain things. Things that are always useless and frankly a waste of time, like insisting we use a checkout sheet on the refrigerator so she can track it all.
Oh, good lord.
I don't want to be rude to her, but I just can't stand it any longer. What do I do? Asks Melina from Washington, D.C. The homo sadness.
Okay, you've got a Karen as a roommate.
Seriously.
That is what is
You
happening.
gotta tell
Like,
this chick to go fuck herself.
I am,
to be blunt.
I am sorry.
mean, it's like...
You are going to have to be rude to her.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
like, it depends on what you define as rude,
Damn.
but it's literally the only way to get access to her shitty operating system is to be rude to her.
Right.
I think is the only way that she will
Say, "Hey,
listen.
Karen."
or be
Yeah.
the manager.
Yeah. You
Um,
take down the tracking sheet and you say, Karen, we are not doing this. We are adults and we'll track our food expenditures and consumption accordingly, right, to our budget.
And and you can do that, and that is a perfectly fine idea. Or
Or
you
here we
can
go.
go down the road if listen, what do we do with Karens? Okay. What we do with Karens is we film them doing one of their Karen episodes.
Yes.
Hence, like I'd say the
And
natural in their natural habitat.
post it
So
to
like
TikTok.
post it to TikTok.
While you
and
can.
now it is your job to get it to obtain virality for it, so for it to go viral. And then once it goes viral, you can sit back and have the internet basically take care of
Shame
the
her,
rest,
right.
and essentially the internet will tear her apart until she loses her career or her life and all of her
Yes.
willingness to live. So you could go that way too.
That's a path. So the thing is, like,
it is.
like
It's a little extreme. I want to provide
right.
options.
So
And
there's 6 of you and 5 roommates. So it's like all 6 of you have an equal say on how things go. Nobody's in charge, right, of the apartment. So
Right.
you
Well,
don't need
apparently,
to listen to anything
this
she
roommate
says.
thinks she is.
Right, and she needs to be told otherwise. So that's not how it works. And if she doesn't like it, first
Right.
of all, ally with the other roommates and say, "Are you okay with this bullshit?" And they'll probably say, "No." I'm like, okay, let's talk to her about it. Have a conversation with her about it, and say again, we are adults. We don't need this stuff. We don't take orders from you. We will do our roommate duties and clean up after ourselves and be respectful and pay the bills on time and all that stuff. That is how the association goes. That is the nature of this roommate relationship. You know.
And if that doesn't work,
Karen can
get
get
a viral video of
You're
her
right.
on TikTok and have her lose her mind.
Yes.
And that will, it's a situation will sort of work itself out in payroll
Yes.
at that point, I think.
This is in payroll. This is an example, excellent opportunity, actually, Melina. I have to say, because people typically avoid confrontation because confrontation is scary, right? We don't like being attacked. We don't like having to put ourselves in uncomfortable situations. This is a great opportunity to stretch those muscles, right, and start a confrontation constructively. At least start
Stretch
it
those
that way.
muscles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just and just
The
confront
word
her.
"fuck" works well because it's a hard F, and it provides just so you have to start with
Emphasis. What the
fuck
fuck?
you or fuck off. It goes like the F sound at the end. It really helps.
Right.
It just gets the point across.
Right.
I
would get
it's an amazing word.
Karen, we've had a conversation and we think some of the things you're expecting of us are not reasonable and we're choosing not to do them. And we're sorry if that upsets you or you don't like that, but that's kind of how it's going to be. We all have equal say here. We're all equal roommates. If you don't like that situation, you're free to find another place to live.
Also, you might want to check your Facebook because something weird is going on.
Somewhere there's a video of you I saw.
Just say, is your phone blowing up, Karen? I'm sorry, we don't have time to talk about the fridge seat right now. Is that TMZ calling you? Wow, what did you do, Karen?
I think that's isn't that there's a word for that? Isn't it technically illegal? Isn't that like getting internet doxxed or something? Isn't that there's a term for that? No, but dox is when you like get you stick the police on somebody. That's swatted.
Oh, swatting is
when you call the police on someone improperly.
And you make up a story that there's an armed there's basically an armed person and barricaded in the house.
But if you send a likeness of something or an individual in a disparaging way, and then give that person's identifying information, say I am this person here, I believe there's a law for that.
Nope.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. That's why you can do anything in this country. There are no laws against anything. Like it's all free speech. That's the problem. That's why going back to Kevin, never join any social media ever. Just never get into it. Just if you
don't do
presence on there, it just
stay off the
as much
doom
as you
scrolling.
might want to be it, you don't want to be the off the grid guy. The off the grid guy does not find himself in a giant internet scandal. So
there you go. All right, Melina, good luck. Hopefully that works. Destructive conversation. All right, our last question. Evan.
Destructive conversation.
Evan from
viral.
Scottsdale. Yeah, go viral, right? Evan from Scottsdale. Yeah, Scottsdale's a fine place. Do you guys have any tips to become less was it sensitive? Do you have tips to become less sensitive? Everyone close to me has pointed out I'm very sensitive. And while I used to think this was a good thing in many ways, it's recently become more of an issue than an asset. I find myself overthinking people's words and actions, taking things too personally, and feeling hurt more often than I like to admit. I'd love to hear advice on how to build a thicker skin while staying true to myself. How do you guys refrain from being so reactive and manage your emotions without shutting down your sensitivity completely? Came to the right place, Evan.
Most people are absolutely imbecilic. And what you have to think of is, who gives a shit? Because here's what I need you to do. This is all you need to do. Walk into a Walmart. Any Walmart.
Anywhere in the country.
Take a good look around and see if you can still feel sorry for yourself after all that trauma wears off. Is what I'm saying. If you... I'm just saying, okay, you could also try a wet sock. We had a sensitivity question last week.
That was a different kind of sensitivity.
That was sensitivity,
different kind of sensitivity.
Wet sock and boxer briefs.
Yeah.
But that could also work as well.
It's the rubbing of the penis. That's a different sensitivity.
I mean...
I don't think it's that type of sensitive.
Yeah, you have to develop the thicker skin is to just not care. But it's hard to not care because people don't like confrontation.
Yeah, I think...
So...
Yeah, go ahead.
Evan, what you need to do is fly to Washington, D.C. and talk to Melina's roommate.
Melina's roommate.
Karen, okay? And I think if you can get if you have that can help both of you guys because, Melina will hopefully have her roommate situation addressed and you can build up your guardrails as you take on, DC Karen.
Yep.
So... I think that's solid advice.
That's an option. I love how we always try to interrelate our questioners. Like, hey, this person can help this person. Hey, and I think that's great. We're making connections. We're linking the world.
Society.
Fantastic.
We live in a society.
Everyone should be helping each other, including our questioners.
It's all a web.
That's right.
We're all interwoven.
That's right. What would I say, Kevin? I think that so I am this way as well because I'm very empathic. So I definitely get vibes from people's emotions. I feel how they're feeling, and I relate, and I try to empathize, and it resulted in a lot of problems when I was younger because I couldn't really control it, right? So the key, sort of similar to what Green Pants is saying, is that if someone ever has negative emotion or a problem with you, 90+% of the time the problem's them. And I think accepting that context in your head is the key. Saying, this person's freaking out. Oh my God, what did I do? No, what did they do? You know what I mean? And kind of like flip it like that. And then maybe if you retrospect on it later and think you did something wrong, you could make a slight tweak to your behavior, how you communicate, right? That's no big deal. But you do it on your time. You know what I mean? Not to be like in the passion of the moment when someone's like freaking out at you for something, you know?
And I mean, and it is hard to not, because it's like being sensitive and being someone that wants to uh, be appreciative of people's emotions, while we live in this world that is
Right.
basically trying to reverse that and saying that, like, is trying to put out the toxic masculinity, is like, no, we have to be warrior fighters. And
Brr.
it's like,
Where's
yeah,
your
no,
war
if you're
face?
already like the fact that you are sensitive is good, Evan.
Good.
Like that,
Roll
that
with that.
it's a lot easier to be at a good place and then come up with some good mechanisms and guardrails to kind of protect your boundaries
Hmm.
than it is for someone who's just a complete sociopath to ever become empathic.
Right.
So you've I think the key is going to be some guardrails.
Yes, for sure.
And that one guardrail that you can use is sarcasm is something that you
Yes.
can use, or
Humor.
basically just thinking of everyone else as a character in some sort of like fucked up movie. So as you go through life, you don't actually have to think of those people as people, but you can think of them as characters, and then that way you can not even think of them as human beings,
No?
and then that what
Okay.
could go wrong?
I wouldn't go that far. But what I do, and this is
Wait, okay,
this
no,
is
I gotta bring that back a little
related-
bit.
You
But
pull it back a little bit. But
but
go ahead.
but try not to care, because when most of the time when you are feeling that someone is thinking something about you, they're probably not. It's all in your head for the most part.
That is a big thing too. Like when you think about, oh my god, all these people are thinking stuff about me. They're not. They don't give a shit about what you're doing. Right? And I know it's a hard thing to shake, but it's literally true. People got their own problems.
Yeah.
They're not worried about yours. So accepting that's one thing. Another mechanism, that a defensive mechanism I use, and this maybe is going to come off a little, I don't know if it's harsh or not, but like if someone's again projecting negative towards you and having an issue, like I said, sort of apply like, oh, this person is crazy or wrong or struggling or have issues or something. I turn into pity. Oh, that poor thing. Like, why would you freak out about something
Right.
so stupid and silly? You know what I mean? So then you're still feeling, because you're feeling pity, but now you're empathizing more with the person without it coming towards you. You know what I mean? Because like, oh, they have a problem, I feel for
Right.
them. You know, and it's like I will help
Sort
them
of
try
like
to
the
diffuse this.
southern expression of bless your heart.
Bless your heart,
type of
darling.
thing.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. Oh, bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Oh, really?
I'll say
Um,
I'll say prayers for you tonight. Bless your heart. Like, please don't pray for me.
Yeah, or just spend your time doing something that has meaning.
Back to thoughts and prayers. Back to thoughts and prayers.
I don't know. But
Ugh, Lordy.
I'm serious, but not serious when you have cultivate the people around you, your friends, your
Mhm.
family, but the wider world out there is not your responsibility. You're not going to have individual relationships
Right.
with all of
You
these
can't
people.
make everyone feel
Just
better.
focus on what you could control. There's a lot of just fucked up people out there, but in almost all circumstances, you're never going to have to interact with them ever.
Yeah.
So, try not to, let Marjorie Taylor Greene,
Upset
enter
you.
your dreams
Yes,
as much as she enters mine.
Exactly. So
Unfortunately.
you can still feel, but you have to keep it within context and perspective. And it's again like any
Right.
muscle, it takes some time to get used to that, right? But get yourself into those situations and sort of practice that. And again,
Right.
turn that empathy and emotion into pity, or feeling sorry for somebody, basically. Like, oh my god, person's so disturbed that they're saying all this crazy stuff. That's too bad for them. I wonder what their upbringing was like. You know what I mean? Then you could sort of apply an
Right.
objective spin to it. Sort of say, I wonder if their parents were mean to them, or if they were neglected. You know what I mean? And sort of like
Right.
do a little bit of analysis. Helps the
Yeah, you could figure out, are they funny or did they have a good childhood?
right.
Like, which one?
Right.
So,
Okay, Evan, good luck. It's definitely a journey, but you hopefully we gave you some good advice and hopefully get you in the right direction. Good luck. What do we have next? Oh, speedrun.
I think, oh shit, it's speedrun.
It
time,
is
isn't
your
it?
turn. I had to deal with the bullshit you sent me last time.
I don't think, hey, the questions I asked you last week weren't particularly vexing.
Me
I didn't think.
review. Attention on the word. Oh yeah. Okay. trying to
I
make me
just
admit
asked you if you'd eat something out of the ocean.
entrapment questions. That's the ones that get me.
Entrapment, yeah. Is there anything that lives in the ocean that you would be willing to eat?
No.
Entrapment.
Yes. No, because that's not what the question was for. It was like, what would you eat from the ocean?
Right.
So I had to pick
anything.
one thing.
You had
Right.
to pick anything.
And the
It
answer's
was
nothing.
softball.
The
You
answer's
could have said
nothing.
shrimp. You should
No,
have said
shrimp's the worst.
shrimp.
Shrimp's like an
Shrimp's
insect.
the worst.
Shrimp's like an insect of the sea.
Octopus.
That's disgusting.
Wait.
Do you eat octopus? Do you eat calamari?
Sure. Yeah.
Do you really?
It's breaded and yeah. I mean, it's not an octopus just looking at you, you know. But,
Right.
I
Would
mean,
you eat the
octopus
one?
itself doesn't really taste particularly good, but
Right.
calamari is squid.
Do you eat the one that they do in, of course, in Japan, where it's like they had the octopus with the top of its head cut off and the brain parts exposed, and then they pour a certain substance in it, and it makes the octopus flip out, so it's like tentacles. Have you seen this?
Isn't that from the Temple of Doom?
No,
Is that
it's kind of. It's like a real thing though. It's supposedly a
that was
delicacy.
a monkey's brain, I believe.
Yeah, it was a
in
monkey
the
brain,
Temple
but
of
supposedly a delicacy.
Yeah.
It's like half of an octopus, and you pour a certain
Doom.
liquid on it,
Anybody
and it
says
will activate
anything
its
that's a
neural.
delicacy, I am not having it.
Right.
Just the word anyone says, "Oh, it's a delicacy." I'm out,
Grasshopper
because
legs.
It's always
yeah.
something
Horrendous.
crazy.
Yes.
But like
yes.
this is, the sperm of a beluga whale that had
Right.
syphilis. You're like, what? Why is
It's
this
like,
important? Oh my
Right.
god,
The
the
te-
syphilis really.
Right. Yeah.
Big,
The testicles of a bull that have been dipped in.
Right.
Right.
I mean, yeah, those are what are those? The bulls of a testicle.
Bollocks.
Yeah, because you can, but you can buy them fried and
Right.
uh,
Bollocks. Fried bollocks.
live in a terrible place.
Crazy stuff we do. Crazy ideas. What's the
I'm just delaying speed round.
There's like there's like the rules of the internet that was like, if anything can be done, it has been done. You know what I mean? It's basically like
Right.
people have literally tried everything. You think of it, someone somewhere tried it.
Right, exactly.
Because when people get bored, they
And
use
there's also
stupid shit.
There's also a porn version of it.
Right.
Whatever it is.
Of course, a porn
So
got made of it. Yeah.
Some porn version of it.
The thing
is
you're
out there.
thinking of exists, right? Yeah, and was videoed. Okay, right. So speed round. So speed round is 5 rapid fire questions that I'm gonna throw at Green Pants, and you only have 60 seconds to answer them, and we'll do a bit of retrospection after, and the timer will start as soon as I finish reading the first question. Green Pants are ready.
Yes.
Have you ever given or received a purple nipple?
I've drunk one. I've smoked it, but I've never twisted one. Or
Oh my God.
Had it twisted.
If all your furniture sprang to life, Beauty and the Beast style, which piece would scare you the most? Scariest piece
Probably
of
the
any furniture.
armoire, just because it's the biggest one. But the whole idea of like magical sentience and that it sounds like
Horrendous.
horrible torture for
Yes.
those.
Who had
Disney
better
characters.
Who had better gods, Greeks or Romans?
Ooh, Romans sort of like just jacked up on the Greek gods and made them more warlike. But I'll say the Greeks, because the Greeks were much more egalitarian.
But fair. How many times a week do you think about the Roman Empire? Love this question.
21.
What is the best concert you've ever experienced?
Pink Floyd, Division Bell, Yankee Stadium, 1994.
You nailed that. I wish I could high five you right now. That was fantastic. All right, excellent. So let's see here. Let's get rid of our timer. Let's get around packing up there. So, yeah, Pink Floyd. Amazing that you went to that show, that was Roger Waters, I assume.
Well, no, that was the Division Bell when the actual Pink Floyd. That was the last time they toured.
Right.
Before, yeah. So that was Roger Waters wasn't. He was already solo. That was David Gilmour.
Oh, it was Gilmore.
And the rest of them, yeah. Right. So
Fantastic.
It was
Fantastic.
everybody but Roger Waters actually.
Must
so
have
the
been a great
bassist
show.
was like and it was the guy that sounded almost exactly like Roger Waters,
Oh,
who
funny.
did the
Must have been a great show. Must have been a great show. You've been to a lot of good shows though, so I little.
That was part of my
Envious
advice.
of that.
See live music. Although
I was horrible at that.
Unfortunately, though,
I didn't care
like-
for live music when I was younger.
like I didn't go to as many as I probably should have, but now I don't even know if it's possible now, because like
Yeah.
going
so
to that
expensive.
show, like I went to that show, but it wasn't like $50,000.
Right.
Like I was,
It's like
I got
$100
tickets to
for
it.
decent seats,
Right.
right?
Like I was
It's
able to
like-
get, I mean, the people going to Taylor Swift concerts now that are, like, oh, well, I only dropped $5,000.
right.
It's like
to go to a
it's
concert.
just- right.
Nice. I have a friend who he concert tours. He loves live music. He's been to I think 1,600 concerts. I think he's done in his life. Insane. And he's seen something amazing, like like you said, the last time the Pink Floyd together. He's seen Aerosmith. Last time them together. He's been when Elton John and Billy Joel did a group tour. It's like boom boom, pick the Pixies, like the Gorillaz. These alternative bands. It's like seen so many shows.
I've seen the Pixies in concert. Yeah.
I
Seen the
see.
Grateful
You're a
Dead-
Pixies guy.
Grateful Dead many times.
Yeah, that's interesting that
I've
you
seen,
would do the crossover, because typically Fish fans and Dead fans don't always agree.
No, especially in the 90s when
Yes.
you had the basically as the Dead were as all the hippies were getting older, and then
Yes.
Fish was sort of like the newer band, and a
Right.
lot of them, like, that scene sort of combined
I see.
in a lot of ways.
I see.
So, and then after the Dead stopped touring, after Jerry died, then it was, they weren't even playing at all anymore. So
Right.
all of that, and that's when like festivals like Bonnaroo and all those other ones started really taking off. And there's actually a lot more, bands like Fish out there now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they're not as unique as they once were.
Got it. But they will always hold a special place in our heart. Nice. Purple Nurple, you misunderstood the question. It's not the drink, it is the twisting of the nipple. Twisting
There are multiple definitions of
Of
purple nurple.
the nipple.
Okay, that is but purple nurple is also a kind of weed, and it is it's a drink. It's an alcoholic beverage.
This.
Okay,
This.
that one I have not received or performed. I guess
I have
would
not
be
either. I'm not either.
The question about the Beauty and the
Oh
Beast
yeah,
style
with
stuff.
furniture. Yeah. So if all the
What-
furniture,
what
if
else-
all the furniture sprang to life, I guess armoire,
get-
because it's huge. To your point about the
Yeah,
size
because
thing.
it's just because it can't really control like what it's doing. Like
Right.
the,
Like a table has legs, it can maybe sort of walkish
well that
kind of thing, right?
well that's the thing is I don't think whatever magic spirit it is that creates that all of a sudden makes the furniture and stuff sentient
Right.
is kind of a sick son of a bitch
Oh,
because the sentient furniture you've got like a lot of them don't even have faces or like ways to
Appendages.
express themselves. They're just like a broom with arms,
Right.
and then like and it's being forced to do stuff. It's actually quite
It's pretty
grotesque.
horrific. It's kind of horrific.
Yeah.
Talk about body
So
dysmorphia, nightmare, or
when the Sorcerer's Apprentice, when all the brooms are getting turned
Yes.
into essentially they're
servants
being conscripted
enslaved
to help
yeah.
with the buckets of water.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
yes.
just no one wants to see it.
It was not okay. It was not. Nobody takes it. And Mrs. Vanguard and I debate these Disney types of topics with this thing. Like cars, for example, always comes to mind. I'm like, but the cars are sentient. She's like, yes. I'm like, and they live in a town with other sentient cars. She's like, yes. I'm like, the cars don't have arms. What built the infrastructure of the town? What maintains the state of the cars? And when they do races, because one of the things was they do races around tracks, who watches the races? Other cars? It just didn't.
Why do you hate Disney?
I
Actually, no,
just want
they
shit to
do.
make
It is
sense.
other cars. No,
they
it is
sit
other
in, the
cars.
cars sit in the stands and
The
watch
cars
the
sit-
race.
Yeah, well,
Get the
if
fuck
you
out. They're
in
gonna sit in the
cars when
Lightning
Lightning
McQueen.
McQueen
Yes.
is going around, there's pictures of the stands which are filled with cars
Oh my god.
that are all honking their horns and all that.
Wow. And flashing their lights.
Suspension of disbelief. It's just
It's gotta be, but it's a big stretch.
know.
Like Thor's also a suspension of
in that-
disbelief, but at least it has a basis in something you could explain. You know what I mean?
at
Unlike
least
an
with
animatronic
cars, though,
car.
Cars, it doesn't pretend to be anything else. It sets itself up in its own world. It doesn't pretend to be in our world. And
That's
we have,
true.
like, talking
And Beauty and the
birds. So,
Beast does. That's true.
Right.
The magic spell.
Beauty and the
That's
Beast
fair.
is like, oh, and then all of a sudden is
Yeah.
magically, you have these things that were once
People.
just objects.
Weren't they?
Now
I
are
thought,
turned-
I
and
thought
then-
they were people turned into the
Oh, no, no,
objects. Weren't
no,
they?
no, yeah, in Beauty and the Beast, they turned the actual the servants of the house
Yeah.
into the
Objects.
things, but in a lot of ways,
Horrible.
the objects didn't have a way to communicate or do anything, so they were like trapped in there because they might have had arms or whatever, but
Right.
except for the chandelier and the
Lumiere.
candelabra,
Lumiere.
Lumiere,
It's on the French accent.
Lumiere,
Mm.
um,
And Mrs. Potts,
they-
wasn't that Angela Lansbury?
I would not
Teapot.
date myself with an Angela Lansbury reference. I don't think. Who had the better gods, Greeks or Romans?
Greeks, no
I-
question. Greeks invented them.
Well, the Greek gods were, you had Zeus as the head god, and then all of the other
Yes.
gods were basically were essentially
Just
equal.
incestual children, yeah, but
Right, but they all were like, in terms of like being worshipped or whatever, like they each had their area.
their sphere.
But
yeah.
whereas the Romans like created more of a hierarchy.
Oh, I
with,
see.
Having with Mars as like in
Pecking order.
as the
Yeah.
god of war and all that, and so they did. If you wanted a if you did a PvP battle of Greek gods versus Roman gods and just use their character stats,
Right.
that are from like their historical stats, the
A
Roman
role-playing
gods
game.
would just destroy. Basically, the
Question
Roman
that.
gods are just the Greek gods in Super Saiyan mode, is what it is
I
like
didn't get that sense.
because the Greeks that was 1,000 years earlier, and so the
course.
Romans just sort of appropriated those gods and then just made them more gave them more ability to do things and gave them the ability to it was more about interacting in the world of mortals and that sort of a thing than the gods
but Zeus used
of
to have
Greece were more ephemeral and
But Zeus used to have sex with mortal women all the time. So we got a lot of his half children, right? Like Hercules and
right. But again, that was
Perseus.
all right. But that was all just the mythology as opposed to the religion.
oh, I see
Like
what
the
you're saying.
ones who were worshiping,
I
and
see
like
what you're
what the Greeks' relationship was to their gods
I see
versus
what
the
you're
Romans'
saying.
relationship.
I see what you're saying.
So
Yeah. We're
mean-
talking about Bullfinch versus not
all of it's made up. I mean, it's all made up.
Right.
So
This is all religion.
it
it's
just
basically
depends
made up.
on
Right.
but,
That's fair.
and that's
That's fair.
why I think about the Roman
But
Empire
this is our next question.
21 times a week.
I am approximately the same, and Mrs. Vanguard was shocked about this. Once this was a popular meme in the news for a little bit.
Mrs.
Like
Green
men
Pants
think
was
of
as
Rome-
well.
Right. And so
Because
she asked me, she's
I
like,
was
how many times
asked
a
that,
day?
I
And
was
I'm like 21, at least 3 times a day. Why don't women think about the Roman Empire?
It's so awesome. I don't.
It's
Yeah, I mean, they
fantastic.
did so many cool things. I mean, they built awesome roads.
Our
and everything
calendar,
else. Yeah, I think
sewer systems, and it led to everything. Like it
Aqueducts.
formed our aqueducts, and it formed our world as it is today. Because basically, like you got to think of the progression too. Because the Roman Empire, and it eventually fell, but then you had the Byzantine Empire that was technically the East Eastern Roman Empire. So it's basically the remains of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
It was just too far away from Rome to feel the effects of the economic collapse of the Western Roman Empire, right? So, and the Byzantine Empire, as it went on through time, eventually migrating to the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire lived until World War *1. It shaped the Middle East as it is today. It shaped Israel as it is today. Those countries out there.
created it. Yeah,
Created the whole thing.
After,
It started with the Romans. Like, how crazy is that? That's why we think about
wouldn't
it.
it be? Although
Super J does not think about the Roman Empire.
But notice, whereas we don't seem to like our politicians do not seem to have learned from this history,
Fair.
like in any way. Whereas it does seem
Spin it
strange.
around.
Yeah, like watched. I don't know if you saw the inauguration, but there was
I
actually
did not.
the Nazi salute at the inauguration. Yes, no,
heard
I did
about
not
it.
either.
I heard
am-
about it. The two things
I
that
am,
upset me the most, well, the Nazi salute did not upset me. I just said, of course, so I just accepted
It was that surprised,
gonna happen.
shocked but not surprised.
Yeah,
Is that
so
just being
it's
like,
sort of. But like they dog whistle all the time. That's what the Nazi salute is, right? It's like, oh, white supremacists who we said we're against, we hear you and we're on your side, right? That's what that basically said.
Right.
The Village People shocked me, honestly.
Was that real?
Yeah.
Did the Village People actually? Because I heard that they were going to perform,
They
and
did.
then I just thought it was kind of like misinformation.
Not that any. I think there's only one original member left in the Village People, but it's like not understanding that song is about, gay oppression and sort of like an FU to Christianity and being openly gay. You know what I mean? So just understanding the nature of the song, and I guess they just got a big fat paycheck because it seemed like they sold out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why would they even associate with anti-LGBT ism?
That's very odd. But
it was odd.
I thought, I really thought that was like an Onion article. Like,
right, the Village People, like obviously not.
It was like,
no way.
It was like, because it was like Carrie Underwood to perform and the Village People.
Right.
And it was like, oh,
right.
haha.
And Carrie Underwood, okay. Village People, what?
Like, sure.
Right.
Yeah. But.
Yeah. Which is funny because like a year before they were suing him for breach of copyright for using the song. They didn't want to sign away the rights to the song. And it was like, of course, because they're anti-LGBT and you guys are pro-LGBTQ, right? So
right. But that was before they got that check.
Big fat check is what we think it was.
That check.
Big fat check.
And that's the thing that makes me sad.
The
Village People.
You can buy out the Village People.
I mean, you can buy the Village People? Fuck, man.
No one's safe.
It's just, it's just that this is why, there's been a lot of, questions about, especially like after this election and everything else, with like, what do you do, now that the world is this way? And I say, hey, if you don't want to pay attention to anything Trump says, don't.
Right.
Like, if you're in a position to exercise that privilege of being in a position where you don't have to listen to that fucking monster just like lie to the American public all day,
don't.
Like, he has a new press secretary. Who gives a shit?
If you're straight,
she'll last maybe what? Two Scaramucci's?
Two Scaramucci's at most. Yeah, probably three at most. She'll say something that irritates him and he'll fire her. Right, but we had that because we are white and straight. We are able to do this. Others are not so fortunate.
Right.
And male.
And which is what I'm saying. If you have the ability to do that, I'm saying it's okay to exercise that ability.
Yeah, sure.
That does not mean that you have to. That does not mean that you don't, still like stand up for things. But in terms of just the fire hose of news, where it's just like it's a fire hose of outrage, really. They're just firing outrage. It's like the things that they can think of.
Like throwing spaghetti at a wall.
Take this away. I just, I took a biscuit out of a puppy's mouth, and then I slapped a baby.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's just, you're like, what the fuck?
Let's undo the 14th Amendment. Let's do all these.
Thing after thing after thing. You're like, what, you can't? Gulf of America? What?
Right.
Like, and that will be the next 4 years.
Right.
And
every day.
Someone who did experience those before, one thing I learned was that I shouldn't have paid as much attention.
Because at the end,
because
it all
I
worked
knew what
out.
was going on, but I knew too much about what was going on, and
Same.
it's because this really goes back to the focus on what you can control thing, because no one can control that guy.
No.
Apparently, we tried. Thought there were institutions, laws, and stuff, but that was my bad. I don't know. I was crazy. I thought
so naive.
Yeah. Really did. Winning the popular vote. That's when I was like, okay, yep. Apparently,
yep,
I'm gonna.
Here we are.
Yep, I'm just gonna stay in my house now, and board up the windows, and and noticed what is sky high today? The price of eggs.
Go figure.
Is the tariffs? No, they actually are. Like, eggs are like at $11.
Yeah. It's amazing. So everyone, I hope that you got what you wanted. I know you didn't, but here we are. And thanks.
We hope you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
We hope you.
They didn't.
Listen,
right?
we make no promises set any expectations.
No expectations.
You get what you get, and you don't get upset. And that is.
And the fact
that is the official philosophy, and the official. That's sort of like that's actually the fine print at the bottom of the.
No.
the kind of the writer. Just
Oh my god.
what you get. Don't get upset.
Don't get upset. Yeah. We have to
If
talk
you
to
can work
around
for
like
a
their
kindergarten-
5-year-olds. That's right. That's right.
And
But anyway, so I think we covered the Roman Empire pretty well there, actually. That why it's significant is so important and why we must think about it repeatedly.
I think it's in like because of the movies like Gladiator and
Sure.
because I think about that movie like once a day. So like that right there, I mean, it's just gonna bring in the Roman Empire. Like Ridley Scott, I think about Ridley Scott like 6 times a day, and that's so. And then he's directed Alien, so that pulls
Absolutely.
Alien
And then
into it.
aliens into
Like,
it. And I'm thinking about aliens
yeah,
at
it's-
least 3 times a day. And then
way more.
Right.
Yeah, I think about extraterrestrials way more
a
than I do
lot.
about the
That's
Roman
true.
Empire.
That's true. And then I'm thinking about Bill Paxton. Like
Right.
at least
How many
5
times do you think
times
about
a
Bill
day.
Paxton?
Oh my god.
Totally.
And then I'm thinking about
Like-
Weird Science, which is a movie Bill Paxton
Right,
was
Weird
in,
Science, and then I'm
how you
thinking
would make
about
him.
Kelly LeBrock.
Now I'm thinking about Kelly LeBrock.
Now
And
and
talking
now
about
she's
Barbie doll-
now I'm standing in my clothes in a shower with Kelly LeBrock, who's just sitting there naked, and I don't know what to do.
I know what
and
to
I'm with
do,
my
'cause
friend
she's so
in the
hot.
shower,
Right,
and
exactly.
you're just so hot,
In her
and you
jeans.
didn't
Right.
expect this live woman to all of a sudden
Right.
pop out of your computer.
Right.
You know who does? The 80s were a crazy time.
That's right. Totally.
Um,
And the showers thing.
Right.
Actually, showers make me think of. Wasn't there a scene? Which was that? It was like the Sonic shower, one of those sci-fi. I think it was Total Recall, right? One of those things. And then that gets me into Schwarzenegger fighting with Sharon Stone, who's not really his wife. And then Get Your Ass to Mars. Then I'm thinking about Mars.
Right.
Then I'm thinking
Now
about
you're
Mars
talking about-
Climate Orbiter. And now I'm thinking about the Opportunity rover. And then I look and see if I could see the camera for Opportunity. I look that up and I keep hitting refresh every 10 minutes. And it's like,
Yeah,
It never
that's what-
stops.
it's all about so when what they didn't ask with the Roman Empire question was how many times do you think about these other things? Because I think it would have put it in perspective if they because if they you know 'cause if they had said how much a day do you think about meat?
Right.
Oh,
Meat.
120. You know, and so like Roman. So just straight up meat. Meat's a thing. I like it. It's
And,
good to eat.
you know, hearing it,
120.
hearing
even.
hearing it outside, I don't think. Right. I mean, hearing it, hearing you say it, makes me think that our problem is not that we think about these things. Our problem is that we run little individual counters of how many times we think of each of these things. That's probably
Perhaps.
right.
Maybe because
There's
we
some-
ask ourselves questions about how many times we think
we
of
think
these
about
things.
stuff, right? So then we track and say,
Because-
oh yeah, then yeah, got it, done.
Because basically we live in a giant universe that is meaningless, and so we have to find ways for us motes of dust to actually have purpose, as you talked about earlier. You want to have
Purpose.
your purpose in life. Well,
Yes,
you know,
purpose.
that is that's one of them.
There you go. Now you got me thinking
I
of
mean,
Ridley
being a-
Scott, the Alien franchise, and then Alien versus Predator, and then freaking. What's the race of the? Oh shoot, I'm blanking. What's the race of the beings that created the
Alien vs Predator.
giants? What was it? It was the giant aliens that made aliens. You know what I mean? That like the
they're actually.
preservers or something. No, they're called something. Damn it!
Oh,
Why am I forgetting that? Help me.
Yeah,
I
but-
don't know.
well, no, now because now that got me thinking about Independence Day
Right.
and Will Smith, and then Men in Black.
And now we're looping it back around because that was
Right.
what's his name from Saturday Night Live oh my god SNL why am I forgetting his name
There's so many people who were on SNL.
damn it what's his the
Are you gonna say Guy? Are you gonna say the guy?
no I gotta look it up. It was who was it? It was Randy Quaid. That gets me thinking because Randy Quaid was in Independence Day.
Randy
He
Quaid
drove the
was never on
Crocus.
SNL. Randy Quaid is just Dennis Quaid's brother.
Oh right, but that makes me think of
SNL.
SNL. And then he played Ronald Reagan.
and right, and
Right.
he did host the show.
Right. But it makes me think of
Once.
Ronald Reagan. That makes me think of Welfare Queens.
Right.
That makes me think of starting off the whole, us versus them, rich versus poor, haves versus have-nots, reigniting the
Firing
race
of the air
wars, firing the air traffic controllers, Jimmy Carter peanut farmer, Iran hostage crisis, Shaw,
EWA flight.
GWA flight, thank
You know.
you, Pennant, Lockbree, yes.
Lockerbie.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh my god.
This is why we have to have things like this to essentially entertain ourselves and get our minds off of these things. So putting on the fire hose of like just Trump outrage is just, I think, just serves no purpose, because
Yes.
at this point they just have, the news covers it and they're just sort of like, yep, he said this thing, he said, and and like no one even has time to react or do anything, so because there's no news cycle. The news cycle is 4 minutes. The news cycle is refresh. That is the news cycle.
Right.
Like it, I mean, if the story is on the page and you walk away for any period of time and hit refresh, it's probably a different fucking story
Gone.
already.
Just gone. Yeah,
So
just gone.
you know, uh, I say just to everyone, take care of yourselves, and you know, because Orange Man make me mad, and so I have to. I find myself really having to turn the politics down a little bit in my
Yes.
my daily consumption of media.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
It's true. But on that note, I mean, I hope we did some good today. I think we did.
I think we absolutely did.
We gave some good advice, you know. So,
I mean, think of anything. If anything, never fry bacon when naked.
never. I think that's the big takeaway for today. Actually, never fry bacon when naked, because
Yeah.
because
Don't really fry anything,
Bacon
but bacon in particular,
spittle,
just
fried
bacon
bacon
in
spittle
particular has a lot of pop and
burns
spittle to it, and
your skin. Yeah, like substantially, and it hurts
it
so
does.
bad.
Which brings you back to the sensitivity question. One way to be less sensitive is to repeatedly burn your skin with grease until you become desensitized to
So you
it.
just
But I don't recommend doing that.
not recommend.
Um,
Do not
I'd
fry
just
bacon
go for the
naked.
go for the wet sock. If you
Oh
do
my
get hit by
gosh.
hot bacon grease, perhaps apply a wet sock to it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
well, it will have cooling properties.
Cooling properties of the wet sock. Oh my god!
Just
And
you use what you.
that's right. And if it's a sock, you always have a spare, so that's nice. They come in pairs. So, on that note, we're gonna go. We're gonna remind everybody to submit your questions because we need them.
Please submit your
Otherwise, we
questions.
don't have
We-
questions to answer if you don't submit questions.
Yeah, because when I go through the catalog and pull out the ones who are in most dire need of help, I would rather have more to pick through.
Yeah.
So I can there's more that I can.
You could filter out the low
I want more
quality
to choose from.
questions. Right.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
So you know, so the other ones I can, you know, the more you guys put out, the more I can reject.
Yes.
So you know,
We use a
that,
stack ranking system for all the questions. We assign a
Right.
numerical score based on content,
Worthiness.
delivery, information provided, evaluation, and where you live. Also a factor in.
Very much, yeah. If any question from Utah goes right to the fucking top,
Boom.
because
If you really want to get us,
those guys need some help.
put on Utah and ask us about the Mormons, and we will be.
Yeah.
It will make it right to the peak of the list. And right now.
Or watch American
We love
Primeval
talking about
on
them.
Netflix if you want an interesting Mormon story.
Oh, I did
That
not
is
hear.
the-
I've not heard of the show.
Oh, American Primeval. It's essentially the story of the settlers going out. It's
Oh.
the Native Americans, the settlers, and the Mormons.
Awesome.
And like when the Mormons at one point
Mormons.
they dressed up, they basically put like bags over their heads and stuff and killed a group of settlers in order to blame it on the Indians, and like that was like a real thing that
I remember
happened.
that.
And so like that
I do know that.
yeah, and so
Nice.
it is
Well, there you go.
it's dark.
Thank you. Sounds
But
dark.
but if you were you know, if you need to get your man, what crazy shit did the Mormons do this week? You know, American Primeval, you can watch that and
Awesome.
you know,
I may
Well,
now
that's
check it
really
out.
for you.
That's fantastic. But in the meantime, so we're going to be out till next week, and we'll be here 9:30 p.m. Tuesday
Eastern time.
Eastern U.S. time. So again, please send your questions. We will get to them, and please just and Super J, we love you, as always.
We love you, Super
We send
J.
our kisses and our loves and our hugs and all manner of goodness to you. Yes. How do you do it? So if you're gonna throw your heart at someone, how would you do that? If you want to express like I throw my heart out to you, how would you do that?
Punch your rib cage. You crush your rib cage,
Yes.
and then you grab your beating heart,
Yes, and you
and
literally
then you
throw
rip it out of your chest, and you throw it before.
But that's a
you have
one-time
no-
thing before you go into a rest.
Oh, it's
right?
definitely a one-time thing because
Yeah.
you're going down
Right.
after because you're gonna die.
But if you just want to
right?
express, just emote without
Yeah,
actually
I mean,
throwing the
it
heart.
would be
you
a
did it.
really big expression.
It would make
I
a
mean,
statement.
ripping
would
out
make a
your heart and
statement.
throwing it at someone as you
Right.
die, that's
Right.
gonna leave an impression.
Right. I'm guessing I say you just don't do this. You take your heart and put your hand straight up. That's what you don't do when you're throwing your heart at
Right.
somebody. That's
And that apparently is confusing to some people.
It is.
especially,
it is, especially
the
people who
sons
were
of
not
South
students.
African emerald miners.
And people who are not students of history. Clearly, they need to be re-educated on this stuff.
Not good students, right?
It's just anyway. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. So
Love
until
you.
then, take
See you next
care.
week.
Good night.